6-star. What life truly means to you. Is happiness a destination that you arrive at after success, or is this a fuel that gets you?
Been fairly hollow. So I feel happiness is an integral part of success. You know what I mean?
Happiness capsule.
Movement. Movement is medicine.
What has been the life's single biggest lesson for you?
You know, the fact, the truth that nothing is permanent. Neither pain nor glory or nor certainty.
Brutal experiences and all. I'd like to share something which hit you hard.
Except that there is no permanence even to fitness. So even when no one's watching,
Even if nobody's watching us, this is who we are. You know, internally, intrinsically. And that's what would speak high even when we are not around with her. That's the legacy we would like to leave for our daughter.
You know,
so beyond blood, what does family mean to you?
so choosing the way I want to live my life without guilt, without apology is women empowerment, I feel.
Oh, you're 45.
Older. I was trying to play it.
I remember those times running 42 kilometers
And yap and
with this
yap and
great
yap.
lady, and we would not stop. You know, we were just yapping. There was a time when she would tell me, "Yeah, थोड़ी देर चुप हो जाए यार, please."
Been people that have left me. It's about being who I really am. You know, being the imperfect Reeti.
Most negative trait.
You know, I'm not a robo.
What about your
Insta
social
stories.
media?
Of course, वो phone तो चलता रहता है.
What has been your mantra of life? Early morning run or a late night crazy owl party? झूठ मत बोलना.
सुबह.
झूठ.
वो दिन गए. अब
ये
बुढ़ापे के
झूठ
दिन आ
है.
गए हैं.
ये सच्चा झूठ है. ये पार्टी आने वाला है. ये owl पार्टी करती है. ये सब झूठ है. मैं नहीं मान रहा.
Now it's early morning.
ये सच जाना है. Starbucks या टपरी की चाय?
टपरी की चाय.
झूठी. ये तो
I
पक्का
don't
झूठ है.
like Starbucks. I don't want to say this on media, but I don't like Starbucks.
मेरे को डिफेम ना कर दे भाई.
Blue Tokai. बुला रही हो तो मजाक कर रहे हो.
टपरी की चाय.
Especially in the winter. Keep running. Follow your heart.
अगर सास घर में आती है तो
भी
रन
भागो.
नहीं छोड़ना, तब भी भागना
उनसे
है.
भागो.
तो हाँ, सास से दूर भागो. Okay, your best running attire. I know it. Let people also know it.
No, shorts always. Singlets and shorts and a topi, of course. But in the summer, that's what's most common. Mostly shorts, like you rightly said.
And the shorts are shorts.
Shorts.
A legacy to leave behind.
Ouch, tough one.
Inside your core values, which you have never shared publicly before.
So for me, that's growth.
I think I have now started exploring something beyond the realm of forge. Genres that I have never explored as yet. Not just the alarmingly inspirational stories, something more realistic than idealistic, something more connecting in our personal lives and endeavors than just being too good to be true. Something that you and I can afford to instill in our lives and maybe make it more meaningful. Well, today I have someone who is definitely a sweetheart, someone with whom I ran alongside. I trekked glaciers, learned and unlearned life's different perspectives. Of course, she personifies grace and elegance. She's definitely a friend one would like to have in a closed network. A 6-star world major marathon runner, an avid traveler, an entrepreneur, running a running community run with Reeti, a dog mom, Guinness Record holder, TEDx speaker, and progressive learner, and now a host to a show called Trek Talks. मेरी प्यारी दोस्त और हाँ, कुछ हद तक she has taught me some of my life's true lessons. Reeti. In a sense, the name Reeti signifies a person who is traditional, follows a righteous path, and is associated with prosperity and well-being. आज मैं ये कह सकता हूँ, she rightfully embodies these qualities. Welcome, Reeti. Today we know about the accolades, the 6-star world majors marathoner, the influencer, the founder. But the untold story with Commander Victor Mike is about the person behind the podium. It's about soul. So let's set the pace aside and let's talk about life. Two words on an intro note from the great Reeti Sahai before we shoot the podcast.
I'm just excited to be here, Vipul, and I can't believe I'm sharing this space with you today in your studio and have the opportunity of sharing my life's journey, stories, untold stories, and our experiences together as well.
Yes, of
so
course.
just elated to be part of this and doing this with you today. Thank you for having me, and it's an absolute delight to be here.
It's an honor for me too. Okay, let's begin with the podcast. Reeti, I feel that your life has been a mosaic of achievements. But when the medals are kept aside, you know what life truly means to you. What is it that means life well lived for Reeti?
I feel, I guess all that is temporary. And as you rightly said, life for me is, apart from all of that, is about connection and purpose. It's about going to bed.
Networking, you means?
It's also about going to bed with a grateful heart. It's about just feeling that I'm living a fulfilling life every single day. It's about, like I said, it's not just the medals and the glory and all of that you rightly said. So it's about having these connections. It's about purpose. It's about waking up with curiosity every single day.
कैसे करते हो? When I sleep with so many thoughts that doesn't even let me sleep. वो एक क्या चीज़ है? वो क्या चीज़ पकड़ते हो कि you just give away all the tensions of life and you get a peaceful sleep.
I think I just tire myself so much mentally, physically, emotionally that when I hit the sack or when I hit the pillow, after this little prayer of gratitude, it's saying, okay, fine, you just go off to sleep. And like I said, I wake up with curiosity and just knowing that I kind of show up, every single day, irrespective of how hard it is. That for me is actually, living life apart from all the medals and the accolades, I feel. It's also about choosing courage over comfort. It's also about choosing compassion. It's also, also about, like I said, just being there, one breath, one step at a time and not giving up so easily. And, it's about trying and not giving up easily. So,
ये एक फौजी ब्राट बोल रहा है और इसके बारे में हम आगे डिस्कशन भी करेंगे. Okay.
So says another.
Thank you so much. And I wish I was as strong as you. Reeti, we live in a world that conflates success with happiness. In your journey, have you found both of them to be the same thing? Or is happiness a destination that you arrive at after success? Or is this a fuel that gets you to success?
So I feel they're both different things. Certainly, success will amplify who you are as a person. But it's not the be end of all, right? You know what I'm saying? If I'm happy, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, I feel everything will fall in place, so will success. You know what I'm saying? So it's a fuel for success.
Yeah, that gets you there.
Yeah, so if I've seen in my life also, if I've chased success without happiness, it's always been very short-lived or it's been fairly hollow. So I feel happiness is an integral part of success. You know what I mean?
How beautifully said. It means hollow.
Yeah, I guess I've also seen it in life where, like I said, so it may be short-lived happiness. You know what I'm saying? And success can certainly amplify who you are as a person or your life. But unless so if I don't wake up smiling and happy or I'm not content with myself as a being, that success would actually not mean much to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and somewhere I also feel that, happiness is supposed to be permanent.
Yeah.
While success can be temporary phases.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So, I don't know. Sometimes it's not just the materialistic perspective, but we are humans and we are bound to, feel happy when we have success
100%.
in our hands. But to, have that kind of disconnect between these two conflicting, ideologies and just focusing on the part of the happiness journey is something which I also want to indulge into and I want to, imbibe that. But
I also feel like we talked about these two words. I also feel happiness in itself is success.
Yeah.
If I'm a happy being, automatically I feel success at some point will follow organically, quietly, without pushing too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think they're two different things. And it's about, for me, it's about being happy first and then being successful.
Happy. You make and you speak of making every moment so special. So can I ask you, what is your happiness capsule? a sort of a capsule which can instantly ground you and make you feel
I don't think I'm going to
happy
give
and
you a
joy.
prize for guessing either. Movement is medicine for me. Movement is my capsule. I mean, I feel as long as I move, and it doesn't mean just running. It could be walking, it could be jogging, it could be just breath work, it could be being with my gardener in my terrace in the morning, it could be just being with myself, you know. So I feel that movement is something that's my happiness capsule. Also, I feel, before I forget this thought, I feel that, you know, it's about that moment, you know, and that's it.
Kinetics.
Yeah, it's like, so that really is something that keeps me going.
Yeah, something is, popping up in my mind. I read it somewhere and I heard some guru who had mentioned that when you are sulking in certain, mindset, I mean, your mindset's just stuck up somewhere, the best thing to do is just get up. Just leave that space. Go to some other location and start doing something else.
Try and divert, change.
That's the moment I think you were trying to bring up. And when you say moment, every single moment will have a different experience. Like you mentioned that you go and speak to your gardener. So if you were carrying some thought, that thought is just broken.
Yeah. So like I said, for me, we talked about, like I said, my happiness. So it's movement. Like it could be like, helping or taking care of dogs at a shelter. But there's movement in life, right? So that's something that keeps me going.
Yeah.
And rightly said, it could change. It could be anything. It doesn't necessarily need to be a run. But it's just movement that keeps me going, that keeps Reeti happy.
Yeah, that's Reeti, the dog mom speaking, and we'll talk about it later. Okay. What has been the life's single biggest lesson for you that reshaped your entire perspective? सोच के बताओ ना, कोई जल्दी नहीं है.
I could say, the fact or the truth that nothing is permanent. Neither pain nor glory, or nor certainty. The day I realized this, and I've learned it the hard way as well in life, I guess you kind of start operating from freedom. The minute I detached myself from an outcome, from validation, from, a brand, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, आप गीता का सार सुना रहे हैं.
I started kind of operating from freedom. I had that space. I'm happy to fail and then succeed. You know what I'm saying? So I feel that particular thing of accepting that there is impermanence, that there is no permanence in life, accepting impermanence, exactly what I just said, was probably my biggest lesson. And it's kind of reshaped me. It's kind of taught me a lot. I don't take anything for granted. So even success is not permanent, like we just talked about a little while ago,
Yes, about the...
Yeah, and you have to keep moving on, keep working harder. Every day will bring you new challenges. So that's something that I really feel.
In this answer, you touched upon life's maybe some brutal experiences and all. We'd like to share something which actually hit you hard. Anything. I mean, you just mentioned life taught you something.
No, I think I just think of various
instances. Did you
instances.
go through some bad experience or something?
No, I just feel that, when you look at life actually, there is genuinely nothing permanent in life, right?
Yeah.
We kind of start taking success for granted, for example.
नहीं, वो ज्ञान हो गया. मैं भी आपकी लाइफ का पूछ रहा हूँ कि कुछ ऐसा हुआ. See, this is Untold Story with Commando.
Correct, absolutely.
दिल खोल के आप बता सकते हैं कि आपकी जिंदगी में कुछ ऐसा हुआ. See, what you speak can inspire people.
नहीं, 100%.
If you go through certain hard times and you stand strong, and then you understand, what are your SWOT analysis. And if you're able to do that and you're able to, move forward in life, that's the kinetic energy I want you to give to your audience today.
So let's take running, for instance. I mean, I'll give this most easy and relatable, because I'm a runner and a lot of people know me as a marathoner.
Which is very challenging.
Yeah, unrealistically, it's very, very hard. Yeah. So I cracked Boston at the London Marathon, and I ran a 3:37. And that has been my fastest marathon. Not that I don't want to run faster. I do want to qualify for Boston again. And I'm saying it on camera because you know how it is. You've got to say it out loud to be able to do it.
And then watch it later again just to inspire yourself.
So I've written it all over. I keep telling the media, I keep telling friends, family, and I'm telling you guys that I want to qualify again. But somewhere I'm not saying I took it for granted, but I thought that this was it. I've arrived in life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then came injuries, and then came a period where I couldn't run, and there came a period where I was injured. And so So, I kind of took that fitness and that speed and that pace for granted at that point, and I thought, okay, fine, I've arrived in life. You know what I'm saying? But all this happened, and again, like I said, so it kind of humbles you. So I'm rebuilding, I'm
Yes.
restarting, I was in rehab. So this is like one example that I'd like to talk about, or I did just share.
I think I've also been a runner, and in my life, when I was a cadet, in my very initial stage, my seniors used to tell me, "Boy, don't run on flat foot," and I kept doing it, and that's when I hit my shin very badly, and I was grounded for almost not couple of weeks, almost a month, I guess, and then I had to draw enough of power and strength to rebuild who I was, and then get back on the same running spree or running fitness mentality, not be scared of getting into a similar injury again. And this time it was more about techniques, it was more about running on the toes and consciously putting that effort ki bhai is bar.
Reinventing,
Yes,
improvising, learning,
learning, and it's not easy.
and accepting that it's a slow process. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
yeah,
And you don't like, even
patience.
for example, fitness, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fit. I feel I'm fairly fit for my age, but if I compare myself to 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I'm not there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I have to keep reinventing, learning, unlearning, and all of that. And I have to accept that there is no permanence even to fitness. I've got to put in the hard work, train enough and more, deal with injuries, take all these struggles head on, and I am where I am, and I'm extremely happy.
And this lady just mentioned about her age and all. So we're not going to publicly reveal her age because she looks so beautiful and obviously,
Yeah.
and she looks
That's
so
kind of
young.
you.
Okay, we'll now get into the roots and family and the DNA of resilience. So, if I may say and ask you that your father, and of course your brother, your father was a Fauji, has been a Fauji, sorry, and your brother has been a Marine Commando. A household which literally lived on service, discipline, and extraordinary resilience. So, how has that unique DNA shaped the woman you are today? And what is that one core value that you want to protect always in your life very fiercely?
So I'm a proud Fauji. Let me start by saying that. I wouldn't have it any other way. And I guess that's another reason we connected. Faujis
of
kind
course.
of reach out to each other, even if they're just two in a massive room.
Yeah.
So I would say that, being brought up in a Fauji household was the most amazing thing I could have ever asked for in my life. It was about, I think before even I kind of came around the words discipline and service, it was, like you were just brought up with values. You know what I mean? Values came before any of these words came into being. And resilience was not a choice. You had to be strong. My dad was in the infantry. He was almost always out. Mum brought us up single-handedly. So there were times and days, we could see that she's not 100% or happy because she didn't know where dad was. But, she still held fort. She ensured we guys had everything in order. She was the mom and the dad for us. You know what I'm saying? So I guess, so resilience is something that kind of just came about. I mean,
Autonomous.
we didn't have a choice. I mean, and the other thing that I saw, like, struggle is also a part of life. I saw her struggle, but she always faced it with courage. It was like part of life. So you got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if I talk about that one value, I would say integrity. I mean, also another thing that I saw, and we saw being brought up is courage. Duty came before comfort. And any of that. Like duty was first. My parents, my dad, my brother. Resilience, like I said, we didn't have a choice with.
We call it service before self.
Yeah, service before self. There you are. So, it was a nation first. It was other people first.
Yeah.
Their comfort, their everything was secondary. So, you see all of that and you're brought up. So, it was like, we were seeing them do it. And so, a lot of it just came from seeing what they do.
Yeah.
And that one particular value I say is integrity. I mean, showing up irrespective of how hard it gets, even when no one's watching. So, and today I can say this proudly that all my choices are also based on that one value of integrity.
And Reeti, I feel this integrity is something, beyond the realm of just one perspective.
Yeah.
It follows in every essence of our lives' actions. It can be about finances, it can be about what we feel about people, it can be about how we reciprocate to people who may have betrayed us. And it's a very collective understanding, and it's the core. Not
That's what I
just,
said. You
yeah,
operate with integrity irrespective whether someone's watching or not. So it
exactly.
doesn't matter where, what, when, how.
Yeah.
That's a core value, right? So even when no one's watching, you make your choices with integrity as the core, right? So that's something that I would want to.
And what a coincidence with me and Ashrita, my beautiful wife. Our core value has to some extent been this particular word. And this is what we want to instill in our daughter.
How lovely.
Not forcibly,
No, I
but
think
through our actions.
Yeah, there you are. That's exactly what I was trying to
That
say. We saw it.
even if nobody's watching us, this is who we are. Internally, intrinsically. And that's what would speak high of us, even when we are not around with her. That's the legacy we would like to leave for our daughter.
Actions speak louder than words, Vipul. So, it's not like you keep telling her to do something, she may not do it. But if she sees you doing it, she'll do it without you saying it.
Yeah.
So it's as simple as that. I think it's beautiful, and I'm sure she will be a very good kid.
I am getting emotional. Okay, the next question is about your brother. Having
Marine Commando
served, having served alongside Bhandari Sir, a Marine Commando, I know the mettle of a Marine Commando. Is there any captivating story about your brother which talks about his spirit and his endeavors, which continues to motivate you even today? कुछ अच्छे word बोल दो भाई के लिए.
I love him. So I think there's no one particular story that comes to mind, but the fact that nothing
It can be a funny story also.
Comes to mind says a lot in itself, I feel. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he continues to do what he's supposed to do without any glory, without any visibility, without any acknowledgement, you know what I'm saying? And the grit it requires to do that day after day. And, I have massive respect for him. There are no two ways about it. In fact, I guess when I run and when I'm running and I have my hard moments during the run, I'm reminded of him, his courage, his grit, and I then tell myself that, listen, endurance is not about glory, it's about commitment.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's been the way he has, no complaints, no visibility, no glory, not even telling people what he does, but continuing to do it every single day and only being worried about what's next, not how he did what he did. That in itself, I think I have massive respect for him.
Goes without saying, massive respect in my heart also for Bhandari sir. I was a commission officer when I had seen Bhandari sir running triathlon in INS Shivaji, and
everybody was running away from him.
सच ही बोलूं, ये बंदा पागल था.
अभी भी है.
हड्डी टूटी हुई है, भाग रहा है.
हाँ, अभी भी ऐसे ही है.
खून निकल रहा है, भाग रहा है.
अभी भी ऐसे ही है.
And वहीं से हमें पता चल गया था, we were very clear that as a so-called from a proper so-called executive cadre to a technical cadre, we always knew कि भंडारी सर हमारा नाम और रोशन करेंगे, टेकीस को मरीन कमांडो के कोर में डालेंगे. And then glory
rightly so, he was there.
Followed him wherever he went, and hats off to Bhandari sir. I was able to get in touch with him when I was on my sailing mission on
I
INS
remember you
Madai.
telling me. Yeah.
While he was serving, I think he's still serving in Goa shipyard, if I'm not wrong.
No, he's now part of the Goa shipyard, but he's taken premature retirement.
Yeah, but serving when I say, when he's working with
correct. Very much.
फौजी लोग हैं, मुंह से serving ही निकलता. I'm so sorry for that.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So we talked about your father. You said such beautiful words about your strong mother, about the motherhood that you have been endorsed with, and the resilience that came in, which was never a choice for you.
Yeah.
And it
I
came
think
automatically.
It
came automatically.
Because you see that happen, right? You see your mum take care of everything single-handedly. You're thrown into, you're in certain situations where, just dealing with it is the only option. There is no choice, So you get harder and harder and harder, I feel. I think which is brilliant.
Yeah. I think इस पे ना इतने questions और भी बन सकते हैं, but I'm trying to restrict my thought process right now. Beyond blood, we talk about the family. So beyond blood, what does family mean to you? Thamba, you call your running community as an extension of your family, but how do your running community people respond to you? I mean, how do they fulfill their side of the role?
So I feel family is as much chosen as is given, right? So, we do have that choice today. Yes. And my running community or Run with Reeti is absolute heart. It's love, where we're a riot together. It's about trust. It's about accountability. It's about sharing grief, happiness. They stand up for me when I'm not there or when I'm down and vice versa. Like I said, we do everything together. You know what I'm saying? So it's not one-sided, and it's also a choice, like I said. So I wouldn't have it any other way. It is an extension of my family.
Yes.
And we're 4.5 years old, and we kind of, like I said,
4.5 years.
Yeah, we're 4.5 years old.
Time flies, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you rightly said, my second home, or my, an extension of my real family. So it's, like I said, it's about, being there for each other irrespective of who you are. So I'm not the nicest person always. I have my
We'll talk
flaws.
about it. Yeah.
I have my flaws, or I may not be available, or, caught up somewhere. They stand up for me. They're there for me irrespective of what I go through, and vice versa. I will always be there for them. So it's about, camaraderie. It's about that connection that we guys have, the bond, the accountability, the trust. So I think we are just hard together.
Okay, Reeti, let's talk about women empowerment. What does this word mean to you in reality in today's world? While you yourself, you are a woman entrepreneur, an influencer, and a founder. Is it about breaking the glass ceilings, or is it about more subtle and personal?
So I would say that it's not just about breaking glass ceilings. It's about also choosing which glass ceilings to break.
Okay.
Okay. I'll also say that.
Can you
Yeah.
just decipher it more for my audience, please?
So it's about having the freedom to choose. It's about having the freedom to choose in various aspects of life, say motherhood, marriage, work, passion, all of that without guilt. If, for example, lots of people or women that run with me, I'll give you a simple example, who are married and have kids, and at times have their mother-in-laws visit them, suddenly I'll see they stop coming to run, and once or twice I notice, and of course I reach out to them and I, sent a message saying, hey, is all okay? I haven't seen you on the run for 2-3 days. So she will say, mom-in-law in town. And I'm like, so? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
Sasuma ghar pe hai.
yeah. So, the fact that I'm guilty because my mother-in-law is there, I have a child, I can't go out and run. So, you get what I'm saying? I'm saying, so I feel that it's so every time I've told them, I said, have a conversation with your mother-in-law, with your husband, with whoever it's easy, and tell them that, listen, this is a choice I want to make because it makes me happy. Right? And if it makes you happy, you'll be happier around them doing everything else that you do as well. So I feel it's that. It's also choosing, it's about confidence without apology. You know what I'm saying? It's about who you are. It's about saying, I choose what I am doing in life and doing it without guilt. It's about saying, I'm not going to listen to what the society has labeled a woman to be. A nurturer, a giver, and of course, we're nurturers, we're givers. I'd love to be, I'm somebody who does a lot, at least tries to do my bit in order. That doesn't mean that I don't find the time to do what makes me smile or happy. That's just one small example I'm giving. You know what I'm saying? So choosing the way I want to live my life without guilt, without apology is women empowerment, I feel,
Oh, beautifully defined. And you know what? The way you just made it so balancing perspective of breaking the glass ceilings, which obviously has to be an endeavor. Somewhere you have to prove that you are nobody, left behind. I mean, you are on a cutthroat competition with any gender.
Yeah.
And at the same time, how beautifully you touched upon with a case study or an example that it is about something more personal.
Yeah, it is.
It's
It is
about your
personal too.
choice.
Correct.
And that's what is the real empowerment all about. And, I've heard Palki Sharma talking on All India Radio, where I hosted a show also. And this is exactly the similar thought process which she brought on. I was so super impressed because, we might talk so much about, women going to different planets today, standing for themselves, representing countries, nations as the biggest leaders. But somewhere in personal endeavors,
Life,
we
yeah.
still are so confused.
Yeah.
We're always going through that dilemma. Log kya sochenge?
Societal norms, parental pressure. It could be anything. You know what I'm saying? It's also self-created.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that there's nothing more or less for a woman as well. I mean, you should be able to do what you want to do. Yeah. So, and without guilt, without
guilt,
apology. Be who you are. Be in that space. Yeah.
So you wear the hat of an entrepreneur, coach, and a dog mom. Just tell me honestly, what does financial independence mean to you? At this point of time, can you just have your own choices and your free mind and do whatever you want with a touch of the financial independence and again mentioning, and I hope you get the pun intended in it. As in, financial independence has to do a core thing when honestly it comes to your choices in life. Because if you're financially dependent on someone, somewhere you lack behind in following what you want to follow. So with that
No, you said it. So here's my answer in your question. I am financially independent. I'd love to be. I always would have wanted to, and I am, and I'm happy about that. And I feel it's not just the finances or the money bit that we're talking about in isolation, but it's also about the choices I make, where I want to live, the jobs I want to take up, the jobs I want to say no to, more importantly. If I want to travel, when I want to travel, make my own choices. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's freedom. And to be able to choose again with freedom, that gives me, and it also gives me a certain sense of peace of mind, self-respect, certain self-trust, and also dignity, not just with, for myself, but also within a society or with people around. So I think financial independence today for women is paramount, and we should all strive to be financially independent, where we're able to make our own choices. Like I said, it's a lot to do with how free I feel. It's my freedom, right?
What about those ladies who cannot be financially independent? This is just a flow of thoughts that have just coming in because of your beautiful answers. There can be a scenario where a woman or a female cannot be financially independent. Will it always influence her choices and her free will?
To a certain extent, yes. But it also depends on the partner. You know what I'm saying? Or the person who she or he is dependent on. There are certain times, I have friends where, the lady or the wife is not working at all, and monetarily she's dependent. But she still operates out of freedom. You know what I mean? Because of the kind of freedom or the relationship the husband and wife have.
Okay.
For him, it's not about it's his money. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He respects her as an individual.
Trick?
Yeah.
Any trick to ensure that?
So it all depends, but it's also a lot in the mind. You know what I'm saying? But I would still encourage, I would still encourage all women to be financially independent. It doesn't matter how much you earn. That monetary independence, apart from every other independence we talked about, choosing where you want to live, how you want to live, what you want to do, what you want to wear, when you want to travel. This little financial independence or whatever you earn is important. So guys and girls, work towards it,
You have already mentioned that you're financially independent. I don't know whether this question now will be right. But, society often, puts up a lot of immense and conflicting views for the sort of expectations they have from the woman. And specifically with you, just let the financial independence be aside. How do you navigate the pressures of your ambitious professional pursuit and the societal norms of the motherhood and the family life?
So, like I said, again, it's the upbringing and all of that also. And I can't, or I have not or I don't want to live somebody else's script. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, I think motherhood is beautiful, but so is self-discovery.
Yes.
There is no ideal balance. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes. There's no written rule.
Yeah, and there is no right or wrong.
And we talk so much about happiness.
Yeah, what gives me happiness may not give you happiness and vice versa. So as long as I'm happy in my own skin, in my own shoes, I think that's good enough for me. I'm a happy being. There's no guarantee for me being a biological mother and being happier than who I am today, who's a dog mother, right?
Yeah.
So it's a choice that I've made, and it's something that I choose to live by. So I think that I don't want to live and there's no ideal script in life either, like like we just discussed.
Yeah.
So for me, it's about, again, saying there's no ideal balance. And at times in life, I could, there could be a time in my life where I need to pay more attention towards career, so be more career focused. There could be a time in life where I need more connection, so I'm doing something else where, and there could be a time in life where, so like I said, there's no ideal balance also in life.
Yeah.
As long as I live my own script, I don't think I get pressurized with this societal norm of saying you've got to be a biological mother, or you are 45, so now you can't run around and stuff like that.
Oh, you're 45?
Older. I was trying to play it.
In this entire answer, if I may call it an answer or a conversation, you brought out the most interesting word called as self-discovery. It elevated me inside, not just because it was a talk for the woman, but it as a human, it's all about self-discovery, because there's nothing written or sacrosanct that we have to follow this path or that path. We create our own path.
And for some women, growth could be being a mother. For some women, growth could be self-discovery. For some women, growth could be travel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For some women, growth could be anything else. So it's like, as long as you know what you want and you are able to live that without apology.
And this is something beyond the barrier of gender.
Yeah.
It's not just about the
absolutely.
woman. It's about every human.
Absolutely.
Okay, now let's set the woman empowerment aside and let's talk about the talk of the town, the track talks. Is it the
Track talk.
talks? Okay, tell us all about from its inception to what has become today. Everything.
It's a piece of my heart. It's a talk show called Track Talk, and it kind of originated or came into being from a gap I felt deeply, amongst runners, or where I thought we only celebrated finish lines or we only talked about successes and podiums, but nobody actually talked about the struggle or the journey it took to get there. You get what I'm saying?
I think it's part and parcel of every sportsman.
Yeah, but we didn't have a platform where we could get together and share stories of resilience, of grit, of failure.
Exactly.
Of, like when you talk to me and I'll tell you how many times I failed to succeed once. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen all your blisters.
Yeah. I mean, that's also a minuscule part of my failures.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? And a lot of us don't like to talk about it. We shy away from it. But we don't realize that only if we fail, will we succeed. And it's a vicious circle.
And it's not only about the physical
mentally,
challenges that become.
Everything.
The emotional and the mental
Absolutely.
challenges. The climate change.
Circumstances, the
pollution.
all
Everything
of that.
matters, man.
Yeah. So that's how it kind of originated. And now today it's a platform where we get together once a month. And I invite people from across the running fraternity. I mean, distinguished runners, all runners have a journey. It doesn't matter.
How can people reach out to you? A sort of promo here, in case if they want to come on the Track Talks.
Just reach out to me on my Insta handle or on Run with Reeti or on Track Talk Delhi NCR, and we will certainly reach out to you and would love to know your story. So basically, it's a platform where we get different people from, like I said, I've had an Ironman, we've got a coach, we've got a physiotherapist, different kinds of people who've done only 5 years, people who've been running for 20 years, people who are ultra marathoners. So we get different kinds of people and we share stories of resilience, grit, failure, stuff like that. And their question answers. And it's just a space where we celebrate everything around running or sport. Because see, when you go out running in the morning, there's only so much you can do, or there's only so much time you have to talk about stuff like this, right? So, I guess all of us learn a lot. I learn at every episode that we do or I host. And I'm looking forward to the next one. It's on Sunday. And so that's what Track Talk is.
I beg to differ on one part when you mentioned that while running you have very limited time. I remember those times running 42 kilometers with this great lady, and we would not stop. We were just yapping. And there was a time when she would tell me, "Yeah, thodi der chup ho jaye, yaar, please." But I realized one thing, that while we were running and we were talking, we would not even realize how much we have.
Yeah, that's true.
How much we have ran.
So that's another thing I want to say. No one runs alone. You know what I mean? There's always a community. There's camaraderie. There are people, and no one. I mean, I would say every runner has a running journey. Every runner, irrespective of how much you've run, how seasoned you are, how slow or fast you are. It's all relative. Yeah,
I think for any beginner, community means a lot.
it does.
And I have said in other forums also that in case you are a laid back person, you can get grumpy also. The first step that you need to do to get out of your slumber or your comfort zone is to join a community.
Yeah.
And Run with Reeti is obviously a beautiful community. I've been a part of this community for a long time, and I didn't realize that it's been 4.5
We
years.
complete 5 years in June.
झूठ बोल रहे हो तुम.
सच बोल रही हूँ मैं. Good time flies. I'm blessed. I count my blessings.
We're talking about the community, and you have built this community on trust and support,
Passion.
right?
And just passion, support from these people. I mean, it's like I said, it's a shared love for running. Share, like the joy of running. We all get together because purely there is this joy of running together.
I'm going to
it.
ask you something very contrastingly opposite. So you build up this community, but in your own life, it can be possible, and I want to hear it from you, that how far have people gone in betraying your trust? I know it's a negative thought, but it's a
part of life
positive,
again.
negative thought,
Yeah.
that makes your life. And what does those experiences teach you about the human nature and about your own resilience? So talk about the betrayal of
So
your
I feel it's
trust.
part of life, and it does happen, and it's happened with me as well. So there have
Okay.
been people that have left me, that have been around superficially, that have not been around at all, that have kind of not been there when I needed them the most. But I guess it's part of life. And I also feel, and what I've learned, like you asked me, is that people don't do this out of malice. They do it out of fear. They do it out of insecurity. They do it out of, stuff like this. It's not because there is malice in their heart. I guess there is more insecurity and fear than all of this. So I've kind of grown and I've learned to accept. So of course I break, I break to a certain extent, but I also rebuild, and I rebuild with better boundaries, stronger boundaries. I bounce back. And that's what I think growth or evolvement as a person to me means. It's part of life. You know what I'm saying? It's taught me a lot for sure. I mean, I've had scars. I mean, these have been scars as well. But it's part of life.
So how do you define, when I asked you about your own resilience, you've been resilient in these times, and that's how you have
I don't have a choice. I mean, I guess, when life gives you these, when you end up dealing with tough moments, tough situations, the only option you have is to deal with it, right? So you've got to be resilient to be able to deal with it. And I think that's a smarter way of dealing with it. I mean, it's easy for me to cry to bed, complain, sob, feel upset, but it's going to harm myself, right? It's hard. There are days I do have these bad days and low days, but I keep telling myself, Reeti, you're stronger. And God's probably given you these struggles in life because you can deal with them. So one breath at a time, one step at a time, and you will come out stronger. I mean, I do self-talk.
The purpose of talking all this positive and negative thoughts is to, make all of us realize that life is not easy for anyone. And these are the thought processes that anybody, even Reeti, goes through, sobbing
All the
and
time.
feeling bad about someone's behavior. Accepting these things is the first step in your
absolutely.
life. And sharing is caring. For me, to that extent that she's vocal about what she feels inside, and she's ready to share these moments with all of us to make us realize that when we are going through these times, how beautifully can we change our thought process, and how we fight back, and how we get back to the beautiful life once again. And eventually, that is all it matters. We talked about the betrayal and somebody breaking your trust. Conversely, if I may ask, how far have you gone to help someone in your life, and what does that act of giving and uplifting others mean to you?
So I think being able to, ensure that an ex-person who never believed he or she could run or complete a marathon, helping him or her cross that finish line, I think gives me joy. Making people believe in themselves because they crossed my path. So they look at me and they look at my struggle and they see if Reeti could do it, of course you can too. That I think is amazing too. And also being able to rescue animals. Both my
Wow.
four-legged right now are, rescues.
Rescues.
Yeah, I mean, they are doggos that I, one from the street, one from the shelter. So being able to do this is something that I think,
I think you have a big heart. I am also a dog father, but then of course I picked up and I chose some dog, which I got as a fancy thing. But it speaks so high volume about you in particular, while picking up something which was left behind, which was
they were neglected. They were, yeah, exactly.
discarded.
And human kindness was their only rescue, right? I mean, if somebody could give them a home. So I tried to do my little bit. I'm sorry, what was the second part of your question?
Doing something about others, which you beautifully talked about, that you lived with examples. So when Reeti can run, the other people can run. So I think by your action itself, you have done something beautifully for people. That's exactly what you were trying to tell.
Yeah, and you said giving something, na? The second part of your question was giving something.
What does the act of giving and uplifting the others
yeah.
do for your own spirit and your own goodwill?
I think it kind of grounds me. It humbles me,
Okay.
It makes me happy. I feel the more I give, the more at peace I am with myself. I mean, I love to be a giver. I wish I could give more. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's
Yeah.
kindness, because I think it multiplies and comes right back to me. In my hard times, I'm able to overcome those hard times only because I've done what I've done in terms of action, right? You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know if I'm saying it correctly or not. But I think it kind
I get
of
it.
grounds me, humbles me, makes me realize that, and it only expands me as a person. It only expands my horizon, my life, my everything. It just makes me happier. I somewhere feel
I think-
fulfilled
I
as a
think
person.
I had seen this movie. You remind me of that movie in which this man, literally thrives to get more money to free the slaves he can, and it was wonderful movie. I don't know why I'm forgetting that name.
So am I.
So, okay, going with the flow of that human spirit, I would say at its core, when you're stripped of all your titles and achievements, what does being human mean to you?
Staying connected or connection and operating from kindness, just being a kind person. I feel that's what is being human to me, just with any and everybody around me, living who I am, giving more, being kind, being a good listener,
Not being a snob.
living my flaws.
No snobbish attitude.
You know me, so you know
Yeah.
me, right? I mean, I'm not saying that times people do think and they may think, and it's fine. Everyone's entitled an opinion and a perspective, but it's about being who I really am. Like I said, being the imperfect Reeti, living with the flaws I have, all of that. I mean, just being who I really am, and certainly operating out of kindness. I mean, that's what I would say.
Let's get into the glimpse of the inner sanctum, and let's get a little more candid. So, what is that most positive force inside you that you're most proud of? And what is that most negative trait, a challenging trait that you're always fighting against? Two extremes.
So I would say resilience as my positive trait.
Okay.
Because I don't get worked up in tough situations anymore. I mean, I'm ready to take them head on. I don't panic in tough situations. You know what I mean?
Turbulent waters.
Yeah. I mean, I won't. I'd rather take a deep breath, withdraw, think, and then respond. I don't react. You get what I'm saying? So I think I have over a period of time
I
become
totally
a lot more resilient.
understand.
Yeah.
I totally understand because I am not at all a person what you're just talking about. I'm totally
You
a
panic?
reacting human. Yes, to that extent, I panic, and that's what makes me even more worse. Go through more worse.
No, I guess we all have our
scenarios.
pros and cons. As long as we address and we acknowledge what we accept, what we have as pros and cons, and work around them, I think it's fine.
So the positive trait is
Yeah,
resilience.
it's basically not panicking in tough situations,
Right.
like taking a step back, thinking, analyzing, and then responding, like not creating panic.
Here's some negative trait
Yeah, so-
which you have to literally fight against.
So I don't fight against it anymore because I've accepted it, but I know what it is. So I think giving too much too soon You know what I'm saying? And then realizing that I did it without intention, or I don't know how to put it, but there are times I get carried away. So I have to keep consciously reminding myself that, holding back or self-respect is also growth.
मतलब कि
Is also-
दिल खोल के आपने किसी के लिए
ये
कुछ
मतलब
अच्छा कर दिया,
किसी को ज्यादा ट्रस्ट कर दिया,
ट्रस्ट कर लिया,
ज्यादा
सारा,
ट्रस्ट कर लिया,
trust
फॉर
कर लिया।
एग्जांपल मतलब 4 दिन की दोस्ती है और 5वें दिन सारी कुछ सब कुछ बता दिया या कुछ कर दिया, एंड देन दैट पर्सन टेक्स एडवांटेज ऑफ मी, यू नो व्हाट आई एम सेइंग?
या अरे हमारे साथ होता है, हमारे साथ भी होता है।
So I have to keep reminding myself that self-respect is also growth, is also like, so it's okay to keep that little boundary, or so don't give in too soon, too much too soon.
And the art of saying no also sometimes.
It's very hard, but I've also learned it, by the way. Over a period of time, that's again self-respect. I feel it's okay to say no. It's fine to say no. I'm human. I'm not a robot. It's fine to say, hey, I can't do this. I'm sorry, but I can't do it. There was a time I was a people pleaser. I would say yes to everybody, everything. Even today, I would love to be, but I can't make everybody happy around me. I can't say yes to everything. So I have learned to say, and it's been a game changer, by the way. It has been a game changer, being able to say no. So I find a way to say it. I'm very polite about it, but I will say no if I have to.
But sometimes even
now you can ask a question. Sorry.
Even if we are very not a doctrined style of managing people around us, saying no in a very polite way, but this art is something which is very difficult to learn, because our mind is always thinking the cascading effects.
Vipul, I know lots of
कि
people.
वो क्या सोचेगा,
नहीं Vipul, but
वो मेरे
that's
साथ
only
बाद में क्या करेगा, मेरे बारे में क्या
that's
बोलेगा.
only with people like you and I, who are
People's pleasers or people's person.
Who are people that operate more from the heart than the mind. You know what I'm saying? I know lots of people who say no first. It's amazing. And listen, there's no right or wrong. It takes all sorts of people to make this beautiful world. Everyone's an individual, has its own pluses and minuses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I know lots of people who will say a no first and then say a yes. So what you're saying
ज़्यादा
is,
खुशी मिलती है ना दूसरे को सुनने में.
Correct. But
यार इसने पहले मना कर दिया था, उसके बाद देखो उसने मेहनत करी और वापस आया मेरे पास with a positive answer.
Yeah, so that's another way of telling yourself, I can also do this. So let me start saying no to certain things I can't do. See, as we grow older, everything evolves around us, right? The time I have to spend with people that matter, my interests, my choices, my family. So you have to kind of have those boundaries and say no to certain things, right? So it's okay to say no. You choose. And it's self-respect again, I say.
Right. Okay, just run us through Reeti's regular basic day routine. Your mundane moments, a weekday probably, life of Reeti on a weekday.
So I wake up at ease the day I'm not running. I wake up at ease. Ease is between 7 and 8, which is really late for me. Otherwise, alarm goes off at either 4, 4:30 or 5, depends on how long the run is. And I have a couple of glasses of warm water, my little prayer of gratitude, and I just go through that little a few things in my mind of how the last day was, the previous day, and what is it that I'm going to do today. Kind of plan the day in mind, that I want to take care of XYZ things. It's very simple and chilled, and that's the way I choose it consciously. So it could be some time with a gardener at home, feeding the dogs outside and around my area, spending some time in my PJs. I'm very house proud. So ensuring that
PJs means?
Pajamas.
Thank God. I was
Not
thinking
poor
of poor jokes.
No. Spending some time in the kitchen with my cook, ensuring that, the menu for the week is set up. So
अच्छा, पूरा week का setup.
So groceries are in place.
ये बड़े-बड़े लोगों की बड़ी-बड़ी बातें हैं. थोड़ा ध्यान से सुनिएगा.
It just makes life simpler, nothing else. So, things like those, just spending a little time with my journal in the balcony, spending time with my doggos, brushing them, giving them a treat or two. It's very simple. It's very easy.
And I somehow feel it's like so meditative now when you are actually brushing your
exactly.
hair.
Obviously, I make a note of what I need to do when it comes to work as well. So it could be responding to a few emails, chai pio, coffee pio, talk to my help. I'm also quite a batuni at home. We catch up and stuff like
और
that.
एक जो
It's a pretty easy day.
हाँ, और एक चीज जो आप नहीं बता रही, what about your
Insta
social
stories.
media?
Of course, मैं बोलने वाली थी. वो phone तो चलता रहता है, so that's who I am. Yeah. So that's really a slow day for me, and I choose it that way consciously. I like to be easy and slow when
Somehow
I'm home.
now I'm getting so intrigued to ask you, how do you balance yourself with the so-called the negative aspects of your social media platform, which is so addictive and driving you always, crazy sometimes based on certain expectations and certain things which can, literally alter your thinking
I know
and
it
process.
may be weird for you to,
No, but it's good to for the audience to
yeah, so I just
understand.
kind of choose to switch off. I mean, I don't let it bother me. I like I say, so here's another tip that I would like to share. The more grateful you are for what you have, in terms of everything around you, people, family, life, material, I think the more grateful you are, the more you celebrate your own life and don't look at others. You get what I'm saying? I
Yes.
kind of switch off. I may enjoy people's success, which I do. And I will look around and see who's traveling where, what's happening, but I don't let it bother me. My circumstances, my situation, my happiness is mine. I own it.
And you don't get jealous of
Not at
anything.
all. I mean, not at all. I mean, I'm actually happy looking at people enjoy as well. My people that matter to me, people that are my friends, I thrive in their happiness. I thrive in their success. I'm only happy about them doing what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? I would love to encourage them.
I'm gonna get a little more brutal.
Uh huh.
In a competitive world, let's just chase a scenario. In a competitive world, you are running a community called as Run and Reeti. Commander Victor Mike is running a community called as Run with Commander Victor Mike. Will it not happen if I have a very impulsive growth, right? Like a shoot. And then you see, oh, this was my friend. He just started, a couple of months back. He's almost reached a so-called subscription followers of like thousands. He's almost reaching where I am. And I've been into this grid since past 4.5 years. Will it not bother you?
So I'll certainly be intrigued and I will try and find out what worked for you.
Yeah.
And if the same can work for me in case I'm lacking somewhere, I will do my best. But your growth journey is yours, mine is mine. For example, Run with Reeti is not brand backed. We're all about, so it depends what my goal is. As a community, to grow, my goal is, to grow with people that are there purely for the passion of running. Running is their passion, for the joy of running. Not for, other things. I mean, of course, we get together, we watch a movie, we take pictures, we go eat out together. We also look at times, right? Everybody is chasing a certain time, they have a personal goal. But we are not about anything else more than the joy of running. So if it's about the journey, so that could be my goal to grow, right? But your community's goal could be 20 brands come in, they give me that pump, I grow. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I will certainly be intrigued to see why you've grown as fast as you've grown or where you've reached, and I'll try and take the goods from there. But I'll only be happy for your growth.
This is a message to the influencers and the big guys who are, I would not say chasing a rat race or something, but it's about, listening from somebody who's well accomplished in her life and, she's not declining this fact that she would not be intrigued to know what has propelled my pace so fast and probably grasp that thing in her portfolio or her style of, working. But it's about accepting certain things. And at the bottom of her heart, the focus is always about, running a beautiful community. So it's about always giving, and not just, looking to get something from people around you.
For me, growth is not about the number of people increasing. You get what I'm saying? It's about holding on to the people that you have and them growing with the community as we grow.
Yes.
When I say them growing, their running journey is growing. So starting with a 1K to do a full marathon or an ultra, stayed with me for 4 years, evolved as not just runners, but as human beings. So for me, that's growth.
Yeah, and this is exactly what a marketer would talk about in a lecture in a management school about the retention part. I'm so happy I've just started this journey of delivering some guest lectures on marketing. And the moment you were just talking about, मेरे पीछे reflex वही marketing retention की बात कर रहे थे. But how beautifully said, Reeti, I totally connect with your thought process. And while I'm trying to, just make a, laugh out loud types of, this conversation, but I do understand the essence of the depth that you are reaching out to at this point of time. And if our audience can get that vibe, I think the real message is going, even if superficially we are just trying to, do some funny acts and all. Okay, now comes my very important question. What has been your mantra of life? One line that you whisper inside yourself when it gets a little tough and rough for you. It's
When
always fun to be in the
Yeah.
question wala
I know that.
chair because the answer has
couple
to
of
be
things.
good.
Very simply, I mean, I tell myself, one is that when it gets tough, the tough get going. So that's one which always stays with me. And then I again say this, life is. I mean, struggles are a part of life, so they have to come and go. You've got to deal with them, with lots of resilience. And again, one step, one breath, one movement at a time. That's it. I mean, I don't. I don't get into this whole thing of saying, "Arey, ab kya hoga?" So sad. I don't go into that sob mood. You know what I'm saying? I just take it head on. So I just tell myself, listen, it's come to you because you can probably deal with it, or you can probably maneuver through it. You're going to be stronger, or you will come out stronger. So I just, when it gets tough, the tough get going. Yahi tha na?
Some people say that this shall also pass.
Yeah, this too shall pass.
This too
That's
shall
another
pass.
thing. I mean, there are lots of these things that I keep saying that. And the other thing, another mantra of mine, which I use everywhere, whether it's running or here, is if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. So the same holds true even in life. If life doesn't challenge you, it won't change you as a being. So, and it's not about operating in your comfort zone. The world operates in their comfort zone. If you want to operate there, then there is no growth, I feel. In order to grow, you've got to operate out of your comfort zone.
Somewhere back in my life when I was young, I used to say it very loudly that the moment there are no challenges, you become stagnant. That's when you are actually...
We become very complacent then.
Not just complacent. We are to some extent on a very, from a very bigger perspective, looking down on us, we're almost dead. Because when we started this podcast, we talked about moment, right? The moment is your essence. The moment defines how you can channelize the positive thoughts, right? And if we tend to believe that, yes, there should not be any challenges in our life, that is exactly when we are going the wrong way.
Yeah.
So I think the way you beautifully brought out, and I also feel that there cannot be one mantra of life. It has to be a conglomerate of various experiences that we've gained in our lives.
You're basically saying it's come to you, now deal with it. You know what I'm saying? There's no other option. So be strong and deal with it.
Yeah.
And that's the only way I deal with it.
Whether
because
you
I don't
call
have
it
a choice.
as
I don't have an option.
resilience, or whether you name it as no choice.
Yeah, I mean...
Whether you are ready to, fall back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm confident, I'm strong, I will take it head on.
Reeti, beyond running, what is your true love? Something that makes you feel yourself?
I think working for the voiceless or animal welfare, especially doggos. I think to be able to do my little bit for, the four-legged that are totally dependent on human kindness is my second love. I mean, it just...
How far do you go in it?
I rescue, I adopt, I help in adoptions, I get them neutered, lots of things. Like in the winter right now, I'm getting I always do in every winter, get some sack mattresses made for them, for the street dogs, and I place them all over. If you go to Nehru Park, you will see a lot of them all over the place, outside my house, under my work. So I try and do my little bit. I mean, that's a cause that's very, very close to my heart. I mean, that's where my heart literally sings. Oh. So if people say I go to my mandir, and that's my mandir. You know what I'm saying? It just makes me smile. My heart smiled rather.
आपने बोला doing it for the voiceless. Voiceless क्या उनकी तो बस एक आँखें आप देख लो ना. They actually...
And they're unconditional people. You know that, right? I mean, the way they welcome you, even if you step out of the house for 5 minutes, the joy they give you, I mean, they're totally unconditional beings. I mean, there's so much to learn from them. And I have learned so much. I guess we all learn from them. Yeah.
And I think this is not just with the doggos or the dogs that you said, that this is, goes with various pets and various other animals. The joy of being with them, the comfort, the warmth they can, give you when you are under some stress.
Oh, they know it all. They make the best.
They sense you.
So they are known to be, what we call them, right? A man's best friend. They're called a man's best friend for a reason.
Yes.
I mean, I remember whenever I go through a hard time emotionally, whatever, they know it. They're always by my side without speaking a word. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even a human can't give me that comfort. So, yeah.
So true. Let's get a little fast as we are drawing towards the closure of this podcast.
Yes.
So we have something called as let's do this or that. Mm-hmm. While the questions might sound easy, but answers can be a little tricky. So the first question goes, outdoors or indoors?
Outdoor, any day.
मुझे पता था.
मुझे भी पता था.
Road running या running in the mountains?
So I don't get as much opportunity to run in the mountains, but between the two, I would pick the mountains. For now, it's road running.
Yes. An early morning run or a late night crazy owl party. झूठ मत बोलना.
सुबह सुबह.
झूठ.
वो दिन गए. अब
ये
बुढ़ापे के
झूठ
दिन आ
है.
गए.
ये सच्चा झूठ है. ये पार्टी आने वाला है. ये owl party करती है. ये सब झूठ है. मैं नहीं मान रहा.
Now it's early morning. 9 p.m. You call me. You won't reach me. My phone's off.
I will share the number. Don't worry. Call her after 9. Being a leader or being a learner every day?
I think a learner every day, because that will kind of, help in me being a leader. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It kind of manifests to being a leader. Yeah. So learner every day, manifesting into being a leader.
Sometimes you have to be a situational leader and you don't have a choice. But I think it's always wise to be a learner every day, because life is always teaching you something.
As a leader also I learn, right? Yeah. So that's why I said learner first.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. As a leader also you're learning every day.
I'm learning every single day.
I don't know whether my question was right or wrong.
That was beautiful.
Okay, ये सच जाना है.
सब कुछ सच है.
Starbucks या टपरी की चाय?
टपरी की चाय.
झूठी. ये तो पक्का झूठ है.
I don't like Starbucks. I don't want to say this on media, but I don't like Starbucks.
अरे उनका मेरे को डिफेम ना कर दे भाई.
ब्लू टोकाई. बुला रहे हो तो मजाक कर रहे हो. No, टपरी की चाय.
टपरी की चाय.
Especially in the winter.
Especially in the winter. अच्छा, रैपिड फायर करते हैं. One advice for a beginner in learning.
Stay consistent. Stay in the game.
Consistent. That's basically discipline.
Yeah.
छोड़ना नहीं.
मतलब one run a week से कुछ नहीं होगा. You have to do it twice, thrice a week and stay in the game. So धीरे-धीरे improvement होगी.
And one advice for women in running?
Own the space. Running is meant for everybody. There's no difference between men and women. Keep running. Follow your heart.
And अगर सास घर में आती है तो रन नहीं छोड़ना, तब भी भागना है.
उनसे भागो.
तो हाँ, सास से दूर भागो. Good. A very balanced running tip.
Balanced running tip. Run for the joy of running, not for validation, not for stats. Run for the joy of running. The journey, not the destination.
Not the PB.
Yeah.
Okay, your best running attire. I know it. Let people also know it.
No, shorts always. Singlets and shorts and a topi, of course. But in the summer, that's what's most comfy.
And your sep or your long?
Yeah,
the latest S.
Yeah, when I race, I'm wearing those compression socks.
Compression socks.
Yeah.
But when you
anything that are comfy, mostly shorts, like you rightly said.
Yeah, and the shorts are shorts.
Shorts.
Okay, must do while running everything that you have learned and unlearned in a very short and concise, rapid fire kind of a tip.
So I'd say stay hydrated. Rest and recovery is paramount, is as important as training. Yeah, slowly. I mean, build over a period of time. Rome wasn't built in a day. Running won't happen in a day. So just these things keep in mind.
Patience game, guys. Patience game.
Yes.
Okay, finally, looking ahead, what is your ultimate goal in life? Not a race to finish, but a feeling to achieve, a legacy to leave behind.
Ouch, tough one.
चलो, ये तो tough लगा. मुझे लगा सारे tough थे. सोचो.
If I'm able to leave people behind with self-belief, that believe in themselves because they crossed paths with me, I think that would be beautiful. Also, if I'm able to inspire courage, self-belief, and kindness, through communities and movement,
which you're already doing.
I feel that's a legacy enough.
I think
for me to leave behind.
I think this Reeti, Run with Reeti, the community that you've already built.
Yeah, so why are things that I do? That's exactly my point. So why are things that I do that my heart is close to? If I'm able to kind of instill this inspiration or kind of inspire people to be kind to others, themselves, everybody else, have the courage, and have self-belief that I can do this, and believe in themselves. I think that is legacy enough.
I guess we need many people like you in our space, in our life around us, and people like you only make this entire world seem more positive, much more happier, and I can say it with that grit because I have sensed, I have felt those vibes being around with you, and I only wish that you achieve your ultimate goal. I know that legacy that you have already created is already living, allowed, and it's created, that sort of, waves, and it's impacting many people's life in a very positive way.
I think I feel if I even, touch one person's life or make that change in one person, it's kind of mission accomplished. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's the life that I wanted to live.
And
So I'm really happy.
You've already touched so many lives.
Thank you so much for having me, Vipul. It's been an absolute delight and a pleasure here
खत्म नहीं हुआ,
conversing with
खत्म
you.
नहीं हुआ, अभी नहीं, और
अच्छा.
पूछना है.
Oh.
My favorite question now, one beautiful message for of course, the beautiful youth of the nation.
So be curious, be kind, accept or be okay to keep failing time and again to be able to rise every time you fail. And like I said, believe in yourself, follow your heart and you live a happy life.
It's all about happiness question. And we talked about happiness capsules. We talked about Reeti's mantra of life. And eventually, we have heard few of the words again and again, whether it was resilience, whether it was about, it was about discipline and being kind. These things are something which have very, very big meaning. And as she now talks to you, the youth of the nation, the biggest youth of the nation in the world, don't be scared of failures in your life. It is all about, failing as soon as possible and then getting up and then looking for the bigger picture in life. I have failed so many times in my life.
It's your path to success, I feel. You have to fail to succeed.
Yes, and it has always given me a new, perspective.
Because we also learn a lot. We don't realize that we've learned the most in our failed attempts, be
Yes.
it in any aspect of life, You've actually learned the most when you failed, not with your success.
And, it has always propelled me because, yes, I was always ready for accepting failures and then, working beyond it. So it always propelled me, for the better and a bigger and a larger goals in life. So I guess this beautiful note which you have said for the youth, it's, I guess, from her heart. And if you can emulate a part of it in your lives, it'll help you grow, higher. Okay, Reeti, for a final thought, you don't have to answer if it is too personal. Just ऐसे ही बोल रहा हूँ, answer तो करना पड़ेगा. Is there a true insight, a realization about your deep, inside your core values, which you have never shared publicly before for the Untold Story?
So I know I come across as a very strong person, and I am, but I also am deeply sensitive, which a lot of people don't know. And I always thought that it was a weakness, but I think it's been my superpower. It's actually made me love deeply, connect better, and evolve as a better human being. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think...
what I understand is that sometimes when we say that we are sensitive, people tend to take it as if we are weak.
Yeah, so
we
the
are more
vulnerability...
reactive,
Yeah.
we are more vulnerable.
Yeah, the fact that's kind of helped me grow. And I always thought it was a weakness, but it's not been a weakness. It's turned out to be a superpower,
And that's how you connect with people
Yeah.
emotionally for their good.
Yeah.
Whether you project it as a dog mom because you are sensitive towards the voiceless, or whether you are sensitive about people who are having challenges in their lives.
Of course.
And for their well-being, you are standing by them and then, guiding them towards a better and beautiful future. So I think this part, which you have not shared publicly, that she is sensitive also.
Deeply sensitive.
Deeply sensitive. तो भाई लोगों कुछ गलत मत बोल देना बहन बुरा भी मानती है. Reeti, I'm deeply honored and so thankful that you could take out time from your busy schedule and come on the platform of the Commando Victor Mike's Untold Story. And it goes without saying that I'm looking forward for your success of Run with Reeti going even more, getting more glorified, not just 4.5 years till the time I'm alive and I see its growth exponentially. And the new endeavor that you have started, the Track Talks, I would love to engage sometime.
We will have you. I'll certainly have you.
Yeah, on this platform, because I feel that this voice can, actually touch many people, when it is heard the right way.
It's a platform. So, like I said, lots of people come share everything that they don't share otherwise. So, I just hope that it benefits everybody, and I think it does,
and it's
including me.
And it's a shout out from Commander Victor Mike to all my audience, to all Reeti's audience, that
Attend Track Talk, guys. It's free of cost.
to please reach out to Reeti. When you would like to, share your insights, your stories, your challenges of imbibing a healthy lifestyle, which doesn't come easy, and I know it, and Reeti knows it. So please reach out to her, the default runner. Run with Reeti. There are so many platforms where you can connect with her. And of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Commander Victor Mike's channel, because every single subscription makes us much more stronger. And I'm also looking now for more candid talks with beautiful people like Reeti. And eventually, I'm also evolving, like all of us, that beyond the genre of Forge, I'm trying and, looking for something which is meaningful. As I mentioned in my intro, that it should not be too good to be true, but the beauty of, accepting you are the negative thoughts inside us, and, sharing with your audience. So beautiful. Thank you,
very
Reeti,
much. Thank you so much for having me, Vipul. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here. I loved sharing this with you and with everybody else, and I hope that this episode does help people, or people get inspired and are more open to sharing their own journeys.
And I think your
So
words,
thank you again.
Your words will do the magic.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.